Performing push-ups all the way down requires strong pecs, shoulders, triceps, and even a strong core. The number of push-ups you can do is also used as a metric that can measure your overall level of fitness and your upper body strength in most fitness tests across multiple continents. Unfortunately, many people either struggle with push-ups or they're stuck at a certain number of good, clean reps, even though they do want to do more. So today, I want to go over 7 things that you can do to increase the number of push-ups you can perform in the next 30 days. The first and one of the best things you can do is increase the difficulty of regular push-ups by adding weight to the exercise. There are a couple simple ways that you can do this. You can either add a plate directly onto your upper back, or you can take a regular book bag and pack it with heavy objects. When you're performing reps with this heavier weight, you should aim for a moderate rep count of, let's say, 10 to 20 reps. In fact, the closer you can get to failure when using weights within this rep range while still maintaining good form, the better. Rather than focusing on reps when doing these weighted push-ups, you should focus on increasing the weight that you're able to load onto your back. Of course, there are limits to this, so you're not going to be able to add an infinite amount of weight to your back. So if you can hit failure within the first 20 reps with the weight load you have available, then yes, aim for a higher rep range that will take you to failure. Also, in general, I'm not saying you can't do high reps later on in your workout. In fact, training with various rep ranges can help you get much stronger at push-ups. But you should start with weighted push-ups that force you to do fewer reps and do that for at least a few sets before moving on to higher rep bodyweight push-ups. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to force your muscles to get used to performing push-ups with a much heavier load than just your regular body weight. And your body is going to progressively adapt to doing these more challenging push-ups in many ways, but especially by increasing the strength of your active muscles like your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Even though you're concentrating on upping the weight load, this strategy is actually going to lead you to be able to doing more reps once that weight load is off. Another thing you should do is incorporate knee push-ups. I know this sounds simple and maybe even overrated, but these are excellent regardless of whether you're advanced or if you're a beginner. If you struggle with regular bodyweight push-ups, let's say you can't do 10 clean reps all the way down with even your body weight, knee push-ups are a perfect way for you to progressively overload and get stronger at push-ups. When you hit, let's say, 7 reps and you can't do any more push-ups without dropping to the floor, drop to your knees instead and complete the number of reps that you were aiming for. Then during your next workout, try to hit 8 reps before dropping to your knees and completing your reps. Now, if you're someone that's more advanced, knee push-ups can be used to hit true failure. You don't have to do this on every set, but on your last set of weighted push-ups or even bodyweight push-ups, you can do as many reps as possible on your toes and then drop to your knees to continue doing reps until you hit true failure. This will again create favorable muscular adaptations that will enable you to perform more push-ups. Just keep in mind when doing knee push-ups that you shouldn't just stick your butt up in the air and do what looks like a prayer. Your hips should still be in line with your upper back and your knees when doing these types of push-ups for them to be effective. Something else that'll help you drastically increase the number of push-ups you could do is to lift weights and specifically work on increasing the amount of weight that you can lift for your pressing and push exercises. These include compound exercises like barbell bench press, dumbbell press, incline press, barbell military press, and dumbbell overhead presses. Getting stronger at tricep extensions can also translate to more push-ups on the ground. So exercises like skull crushers, behind the head tricep extensions, cable rope extensions, and especially dips can all help with push-ups. So don't think just because your goal is to improve your push-ups, you should stick only to doing push-ups, because focusing on upping just your bench press, for example, by a couple pounds every few weeks should highly improve the strength of your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Eventually, if you can get to the point where you're bench pressing a weight greater than your own body weight, push-ups on the ground are going to be much, much easier. This is truly one of the best tips that quickly helped me increase the number of push-ups I could do. So this brings me to the next point, which is to train your push strength more often throughout the week. I don't recommend that you do push-ups every single day, because whenever you exercise your muscles, you should be training intensely enough to break them down quite a bit. Your muscles will need time to recover and grow between workouts, so you should try to take at least 48 hours off between your push workouts. However, if you're only training your chest, shoulders, and triceps once a week, you're not going to gain that push strength as quickly as if you were training these muscles twice or even 3 times a week. If your main goal is to increase your push strength, there's no reason why you can't do 3 push workouts a week. With these push workouts, you can combine weight training with regular push-ups. I recommend that you start your push workouts with your heaviest exercises first. So start with either heavy bench press, overhead press, dips, or weighted push-ups. And then as the workout progresses, you can slowly move into your body weight exercises. But the point is to start with your heaviest exercise first while you're fresh to maximize the amount of reps you can do with that heavy weight load so that you can gain that push strength as fast as possible. Now, another thing you could do aside from adding weights to make push-ups more challenging is to incorporate push-up variations. Many push-up variations either decrease stabilization or increase the load placed on your upper body by shifting your weight in that direction. A simple example is to perform push-ups with your feet up on a platform instead of keeping them on the ground. This automatically shifts more of your weight towards your upper body, making the exercise more challenging. There are many other variations as well. For example, dive bombers. Here you would start with your hips elevated in the air, and as you come down for your push-up, you want to transition to a cobra stretch and then reverse the whole motion. All in all, it's much more challenging than a regular push-up. And again, you can also decrease stabilization. So an example of this is performing push-ups with your feet placed into TRX straps. This is going to force a lot more stabilizer muscles and especially your core to work harder, which is going to make regular push-ups much easier in comparison. And that brings me to the next tip. You can increase the amount of push-ups you can do by improving your core strength. This is usually overlooked because the primary working muscles during a push-up include the chest, shoulders, and triceps, and you should focus on those the most. But the core is one of the main stabilization muscles that prevents your hips from sinking to the ground, and it keeps your body steady. So if you're noticing that your hips are starting to sink to the ground as you're doing your reps, you may want to work on core exercises like planks to help strengthen those muscles. By working your way up to holding a plank position for 60 seconds, you should be able to fix this issue, especially if you're able to hold 60 seconds with a weight load on your back. Finally, the last thing that you can do is increase your range of motion during push-ups. You can do this effectively by having platforms under your hands or even by using regular household objects as long as they're stable. By elevating your hands off the ground, you're able to go further down and get a nice full stretch in your chest before coming back up. This strategy can be used to make push-ups far more difficult, especially if combined with certain push-up variations. For example, doing a pike push-up on the ground is nowhere near as difficult as doing a pike push-up with your feet and hands elevated on platforms, because when you're elevated, you're able to go through a much greater range of motion, which has been shown to be optimal for muscle growth. So to put this all together, let me give you a super simple, bulletproof strategy to be able to complete more push-ups. First, make sure you're training your push muscles like your chest, shoulders, and triceps at least 2 times a week, and if possible, try to go for 3 times a week. Next, if you have access to weights, either start every one of your push workouts with weight training and then move on to weighted push-ups and then to bodyweight push-ups. Or you can do the weight training exercises like dumbbell presses and overhead presses on separate days from your push-up exercises. Either way, start with the most challenging exercises first and try to keep those challenging enough to where you can only perform 10 to 20 reps. Next, make sure you go to failure by dropping to your knees once you can't do the push-ups on your toes anymore. You can do that either on every set or on the last set of each push-up exercise you do. Now, if you don't have weights or you want to try other ways to challenge yourself, you can perform push-ups with platforms to increase your range of motion, or you can try variations that are more difficult, and I'll include a link in the description to a ton of very effective push-up variations that you could try. Also keep in mind there's no reason why you can't combine many of these methods together in other ways that I haven't mentioned. For example, you could perform more challenging push-ups, let's say with your hands elevated off the ground, and you can do that with a book bag full of weight on your back. Another thing to keep in mind is that you should also lower the weight and switch to easier variations of push-ups as needed as your workout progresses. By the end of your workout, let's say for your last 3 sets, I would recommend just sticking with bodyweight push-ups until you hit failure to also maximize the endurance of these muscles. After 30 days of trying these tips, you should be blown away at how much your push-up strength has improved and how many more reps you can do with just your body weight. So that about wraps it up. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, if you need any extra help with either increasing your strength or building a leaner, more muscular body, head on over to my website. Just by trying my free 6-week shred, you'll get a diet and workout plan based on your preferences, and the workouts can be done at home or in the gym. You'll also get a full video exercise library so you'll know exactly what you're going to do every single workout. To get results with this program, you only need to just work out 3 days a week. You'll also get a recipe book and a coach to guide you through the entire process. To grab your spot, you can just head on over to my website by clicking the link in the description below, or head straight over there by going to gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.